Oh,
Hi. Hi, Raina.
hi there. How you doing, Marisa?
Well, thanks. Thanks for making the time to come through today. How are you doing otherwise?
Doing pretty good. Busy with work, but I mean things are going good. Start learning some new stuff at work and things like that. Busy with training, but other than that, it's good. Productive.
Excellent. You said you put aside about an hour for us to chat today. Am I correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll be kicking off with some questions today, and the rest of the team will take it, do their questions after myself. But it's just a conversation we're having today, and hopefully we'll get to some solutions for some of the issues that you're struggling with at the moment.
Thank you. Yes, yes. I would actually like a bit of guidance, especially with regards to time management, and I've got some issues with procrastination and things like that, and I'd just like some pointers, some guidance, and a little bit of coaching.
Excellent. Great. Well, I hope we can help you. So yeah, like you said now, I understand you've got some challenges around timekeeping,
That.
and you're not able to complete your tasks, making you feel burned out.
Hmm.
Take me through what you experience on a daily basis.
Well, the thing is, especially now with uh, me having training as well as my regular duties today and to complete in a day, and then I've got some studying after hours. It just somehow I can't get through everything. I'll get to work and I'll get going with my actual work that I've got to do in a day, and then after that I would have the training that I'm busy with currently at my workplace to complete as well. And that balancing act of getting through everything and just managing my time properly. Um, I am one of those people who tends to leave things to the last minute as is. And um, I do venture off. My concentration isn't always where it needs to be. So, I do get distracted quite easily as well. And that just contributes to this issue, and it compounds. And then, I really struggle to get through all my work. And then after our studies, if I do have to stay a bit longer at work, then now it's a rush between my actual work and the studies after hours. And when I get to the after hour studies, even there, I find that a lot of times I do feel tired from a day, and then what I'll do is I'll put off work in favor of rest. And unfortunately, you don't get extensions on those, so you have to still get your work done after hours. And unfortunately, then the procrastination sets in last minute. Then it's late nights, and I'm tired. And yeah, I just need some pointers on how to fix things. I need a better game plan.
All right. Um, so we're just going to dive into certain aspects first. Just to understand a little bit better, just tell me what your work environment looks, feels, and sounds like. I want to
Okay.
understand where the distractions are coming in.
Okay. Well, our office is quite an open plan style office. And there is a bunch of software developers around me. But I myself am naturally quite a social guy. So there's a lot of movement past my desk quite often. Um, and me being quite a social person, people do tend to stop off at my desk to say hi or mention something, or a friend will come and he'll just make his presence known somehow, sort of play a little prank or something. um and then other than that, my work environment in general is one that's quite sedentary. So I am at my desk staring at a screen constantly, um, working on things, solving problems, training, currently training on actually becoming a software developer and things like that. So the work itself does kind of mentally start taking its toll on a person. You start getting, tired, and as soon as you start getting mentally tired, that's when these distractions very easily can start setting in. And my manager also has this way. He likes to what we call pop a knee. So he'll come by your desk and he'll sit. And I mean, it's a good thing. He builds a relationship with the people, but instead of trying to, you know, keep that type of interaction to a minimum, I kind of welcome it, you know, because it's a welcome distraction when you start feeling a bit tired. So yeah, that's kind of what my daily work conditions are, you know.
Okay, yeah, thanks for creating that image for me. I have a bit of a better understanding what your environment looks like. It also seems like you're carrying a lot of responsibilities, some really large tasks and responsibilities. Sometimes breaking those large tasks into smaller bite-sized chunks helps with workload and time management. Is that something that you have tried already?
No, I'll be honest, I'm one of those people who you don't really say no. You kind of just take more and more things on. So, you know, instead of breaking it down into small tasks, I kind of get stuck on the big picture. And yeah, then the elephant does seem a lot bigger, you know, than you'd expect, you know. And that does kind of discourage a person when you see this mountain of work that you've got to get done,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you realize you don't have a lot of time. So, you know, instead of focusing on one little aspect or one little task at a time and just, you know, working your way through it systematically,
yeah.
I kind of I look at like the whole that I have to get completed, and that does get a bit intimidating.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that. I'm thinking that we need to create an environment which is conducive to long periods of concentration and focus. What type of environment helps you to achieve that generally? What sort of space do you experience major flow in?
Well, if I can have an environment where I can sort of isolate myself, and although there's people around me, I need to somehow keep them out of my field of vision, and
Mm, okay.
I need to keep noise distraction out the way. You know, if there's a bit of music or something, it's fine. That'll help you focus. But
Mm,
distraction from people and noises and human beings talking and things like that, those type of things, I need to keep as far away from me as possible, because I have a horrible ability of picking up something, and then, you know, just kind of my ear wanders, and then I'm completely
yeah.
distracted from what I was supposed to do.
All right, I got that. Okay. A tool that works well for me and some of my other clients is keeping a time log so that we can examine whether my priorities or your priorities in this case are aligned with that of the team, and then also to identify where there are opportunities for us to improve or make some changes. Does this sound like a useful exercise for you to help identify certain areas which we can reflect on and improve on?
Definitely. Reason being is currently I'm not required in my position to log actual task times, you know. I just give a general overview of I was busy with training, and I was busy with uh, some sort of, how can I put it, umbrella term, busy with uh, internal work, that type of thing. And I don't really have accountability in the sense of, you know, I was busy with task X, task Y, task Z, and
Mm.
this is how long it took me. So that actually might work, you know, to try and keep me held accountable for the time that I spent at work.
Yeah. Also alignment with what
Mm,
uh, the team needs to achieve. Yeah. All right,
definitely.
that's great. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass you now to Yuan.
Good day, Rena. How
Hey,
is it
you're
going with you?
good, my bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain. I would firstly like to apologize. Currently, from my location, I'm experiencing load shedding, so it will be a bit dark on my side, but I'm more than happy to still converse.
I
So,
am so
from
keen on hearing what you have to say, though, because I have just come out of load shedding myself, so it's cool. I understand.
uh, definitely. So, the first question from my side, before that, I would first like to thank Marisa for opening. And to take it further, the first question from my side: what examples of successful time management, or even if it's role models of that has exhibited excellent time management that have the desired level, have that do you know of, and how do you think they achieve that level of time management?
Well, when you ask this question, are you referring to in general or in my workplace?
Let's start with your workplace.
Okay. Well, if I had to think of some people, one person that was excellent at time management is one of the senior developers at my company. His name is Justin. And Justin, how he gets through all the work he does is quite a mystery to me still. It's very interesting. This guy is um, he's able to do leadership duties internally as well as do work for the customers and at the same time run teams. And he's very good at what he does. And I think what one of the things that he does very well is he's very strict on his time management. Specifically, he keeps track of everything that he does, while at the same time somehow making time in between for a quick little chat and just the chin wag and just to de-stress. Um, and another one that's very good at time management is one of my former plant managers, Wayne Moss, and what he used to do as that guy had a unbelievable amount of work on his plate, and constantly in meetings, and he was able to manage his time through very effective delegation, which at this point I guess is not really applying to me that much, but I think it's relevant, and because it's something I really admired with him, is he had this ability to effectively delegate and help others understand exactly what they needed to do, so that after he's got the big picture in place and he sort of sets the framework on what to do, and then he makes sure that other people know how to do it as well and they get tasks with it. And when they are tasked with it, he kind of just oversees the high level and makes sure that they do it according to the way that he wants them to do. So that's another
Yes.
way that was very impressive to me. um and I'm trying to think who else was there. Oh, how can I forget? Marcus. Marcus was one of my superiors that I worked for. Also, when I was working at Hanson's Engineering, and Marcus was an excellent um, time manager in the sense of he was able to absorb a lot of the pressures that was placed on him, and then somehow just keep a cool head and tackle one problem at a time, and not
Mm,
get not get not get bogged down in all the different issues. He was able to compartmentalize in terms of what needed to be done, what was important at the time when it needed to be done.
definitely.
Yeah,
I
so I
think
think those.
on that note, definitely everything that you said now, try put it on a page or try put it, write it down somewhere. Then in your workspace, try put it up there so that you can always feed off from it if you ever need tips and advice in the heat of the moment. Then, Raina, on my next question, and from your perspective, what habits do you feel is most important to discourage when it comes to time management and time management? And also, in the same breath, what habits do you think is best to promote to reach your level of time management that you desire?
Well, to discourage, I'll start there. Firstly, I need to discourage unnecessary distractions, especially in times when I need to focus. So I would say it's things like um, unneeded conversation with workplace friends or colleagues. Um, Things like going to make coffee. Um, and it sounds like a simple thing, but if one makes 3 4 cups of coffee in a day, basically just to get like a distraction from your work that you're busy with, it becomes a problem. So I reckon I need to discourage those type of things that break the focus. And then another thing I reckon I should discourage is engaging in how can I put it, in workplace gossip. And by gossip, I don't mean physically necessarily interacting, but like I mentioned earlier, it's when you sort of lend your ear to something that's happening across the way in the office, and then you kind of get distracted by those. So those type of things you need to completely discourage. And also procrastination is one thing that I need to discourage in the
Definitely.
workplace. If I get tasked with something, rather get it done as soon as possible, immediately, if I'm able to, as opposed to putting it on the back burner and doing less important tasks. To that end, I believe managing, when it comes to things I should encourage, is managing the hierarchy of importance with regards to tasks. Not every task is equally as important, and even though I'm busy with a task right now, if there's something more important that needs to get done, sometimes it needs to take preference. However, there are times when even important tasks need to, kind of wait their turn in order to allow me to get through all the work. But that you have to, I suppose, evaluate um, based on the requirements of the individual tasks.
Yes.
More things I believe I should encourage in the workplace is, you need things that keep you focused. Okay, specifically, I would say um, stuff like noise canceling headphones, if possible. If not possible, get some, even if it's a type of music that helps you focus and work. I find a bit of light jazz helps me focus at times and not really look at others. And yeah, have a seat that's not close to the aisle, because I think that's another thing I should encourage is seats where I can't see too many people moving around, because as soon as my eye catches someone, it kind of makes you, focus the other way, and then
Definitely.
that just completely distracts you from your work.
Thank you very much for that, Reino. Just to take from what you've said, to add on, definitely a prioritizing system. So if you have 5 tasks to do, I would suggest having a ranking system. So rank your most important task to the least important task. Then also what helps with habits, from my personal experience, is scheduling focus time. So in your 8.5 hour day, schedule 2 hours or any amount that you think would be feasible. And then in that time, you do nothing but work, no distractions, no emails. You focus basically on the task that you have to work on. So focus time is also a good habit from my experience. Then on to my next question. From your side, identify what will motivate you to be more determined and dedicated to reach your desired level of time management. And how do you think you can sustain this level of motivation?
What would help me get more motivated? Well, one thing is a bit of a incentive. At the moment, I've got some incentives. Fear is a great motivator. So when it comes to the training part, I only have X amount of time in a week to get that done before my evaluation. So there's a bit of deadline pressure. So that's a good one. Motivation in terms of rewards. Our company does have a pretty good reward program. And at the moment, I don't quite think I'm not really, how can I put it, too up to date with exactly how that works, and maybe if I had some better idea of how that works and how my work would influence that, yeah, maybe that'll be a good way to help. Sorry, can you just repeat the question there again?
So it is, what will motivate you to reach your desired level of time management, and how do you think you can sustain, what do you think can be done, or what you can do to sustain this level of time motivation?
Yeah, if they keep me accountable, that will be great. That's one thing at my work. They do kind of trust that we'll do the work. And if your tasks are done, no one complains. My problem is my tasks are done. They just get done very late. you know. So not that my work isn't done, so the work it's done, so they smile at work. Managers and stuff don't have a problem, but I feel the pressure because I kind of leave it all to the last minute. And career paths, that's one thing also, because I haven't been at the company for that long, so
Yes.
I don't really know what my career path will be there. It's not that clear, so I don't have a lot of motivation to push me towards a certain career path that I know exactly, okay, look, I need to do X by this time because it's going to, focus me in the direction of where I'm going to be at. I'm going to be in 5 years' time, I'm going to be at that position, this is going to be
Yes.
my level of authority and so on. I don't have a clear career path at the moment. So yeah, I think that would also help.
I definitely agree there. If your direct manager has more of an open door policy, I would definitely suggest having a one-on-one session where you guys discuss what you've mentioned now, your career path, what in terms of recognition, in terms of how your actions, how your work fits into the bigger picture of the company, how it adds to the goal and mission of the company. But definitely be more open with your manager. And if he does not have an open door policy, try in smaller conversations, lead him towards speaking about it.
Cool. Well,
Thank you for
luckily,
that, Malo.
yeah, luckily,
Yes,
sorry, luckily we do have quite an open door policy at work. That's one thing they pride themselves on. So I'll definitely try that.
that's very good. My last question from my side is, has your manager been clear on what the expectations are in terms of your delivery? It's basically feeding from the previous question.
Well, just that the work is done. Yeah, I can answer that one quite quickly. It's just that the work is done. They, they don't really push quick deadlines. There are some teams at my work who do, and the current training that I'm busy doing, that would lead to a position where I'd probably have a lot of small deadlines that I have to adhere to. But where I am right now at the moment, no, yeah, I don't have a clear policy other than, listen, Reino, just make sure your stuff is done on time. How you get there doesn't really matter. So there's not a lot of incremental checkups.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you very much for your feedback on the questions. Our time is a bit limited, but we have 2 more questions left. I'm going to give over to my colleague Mashoko, and he will take you through those questions.
Thank you, Jean.
Reino.
Thanks, Johan.
Hi, Reino.
Hey, how you doing, Mashoko?
I'm cool, man. How are you?
Good, good.
My voice is a bit worse. I have a bit of flu, but I hope I'm going to be audible enough.
That's fine.
Yeah, Reino, to listening to you from the beginning, I could pick up a few things. One of them is that you have quite a grip in terms of the areas of your life that you want to see an improvement on. You also touched quite a bit on the challenges that you wish to overcome. I mean, things like overcoming procrastination. You mentioned now that you are also at times staying longer at work to finish up some tasks, which obviously is taking away your family time and things like that. You mentioned also that you get a bit tired or exhausted at times, that also lead to burnout. And obviously you're a sociable person. You have mentioned that. And then obviously if your time is not managed properly, you with your friends and interaction with your colleagues and things like that. So yeah, to coming to my question, would improving your self-time management and punctuality at work assist in improving other areas of your life, especially the areas that I've mentioned now?
Yes.
Do you think if you have a grip of your self-time management, these areas will be improved? And as a follow-up question to that, why do you think that?
Most definitely it will. Just in terms of stress management, because I leave these things to the last minute, it does tend to lead to situations where one needs to spend more time than required at work. It leads to, there's times when you're stressed thinking of work because there are things that need to get done, and deadlines are tight, and it's tight because I did it to myself. And then that kind of does affect one's mood after hours. And then you put in all this like effort to get the stuff done, and once you put in all this effort to get things done, you spend quite a lot of energy in one day. So then that means, and it's normally close to Friday, so that takes a toll on one's social life, because now you get home on a Friday night, you don't want to do anything. Whereas if you had just spread the load a bit, you would have had more energy and more more time on your hands, or more the drive and desire to actually have a bit of a better social life. And I'm quite a social person, so when we take away from that, it kind of does lead to a bit of frustration, touch of depression. Or depression is a strong word, but yeah, it does kind of like make things less desirable. And then as for the workplace itself, it'll help me focus. It'll help me feel like because there's times when you're not doing anything, and then you start feeling guilty because you're wasting time, and and then times when you actually are working, and then you're feeling too much pressure. So it'll help me just balance out, just be a more rounded employee, can I put it that way, and working professional, which is something I need.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think from my side, listening to your conversation, I would say this has been a very great session, and we have picked up quite a number of things. We understand your circumstances now better. We have worked on some solutions, but firstly, would like to check in on you to see how we are progressing, and to gauge whether there are some other areas or any other adjustment that we can make to the conversation that we had, to the suggested solution that we have. So when will it suit you? Both from my side, currently I have open slots on Mondays after 1 p.m. and on Wednesday. So what time will it suit you to just check on you?
A Monday after 1 p.m. would actually be perfect.
Oh, awesome. Great. Thanks a lot, Reino, for your time.
Thank you very much, Mashoko. And thank you, Marisa, and thank you, Jean, also. I really appreciate the time that you set aside to speak with me and have this meeting. I really enjoyed it, and I actually had quite a few, how can I put it, personal revelations, just because I had to do some inner reflection while we were talking. So thank you guys for that as well.
Thank you very much, Reino, also for your time. Just a closing comment from our side. As much as we learn, as much as you're learning from us in this coaching session, it was also very interesting and very enriching to also learn from your experience. It was also a learning experience for us, and really do hope from what we discussed, you take something away from this, and it helps you in your time management. As my colleague Mashoko said, at any point, if you need to schedule another session with us, we are more than willing to accommodate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.